Oh, good. I'm glad I'm getting everyone to laugh. All right.
Yeah.
Good morning. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Business Bets and Buddies show. We are a Hounds of Business Fantasy Football League presented by Walking Tall Movement. Before we kick off the show, I just want to do a quick shout out to MIKEKINGBIZ, the voice of RVA Business on ESPN Richmond Radio. That's 106.1 for allowing us this opportunity to broadcast. So you will hear us live Friday morning at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time on 106.1 if you guys want to hear us. I'm Syya Yasotornrat. Just call me Syya, guys. I'm hosting this week. And yeah, I got paired with I got paired with someone, aka got my booty handed to me by Mark Reid.
You could
Host
have
of
won. You could have won. You started somebody who didn't even play.
Okay, look, someone. I didn't have a chance to look. I don't know if anyone understands my ability to not understand football. It is immense. Okay, but that being said, Mark Reid, you are the host of Zen Sandwich. I want to get this out before I forget because I keep forgetting to say that you have a podcast, sir.
I do. It's a big one, and you
And
forget me all the time.
I know. I'm a wonderful person on that. But okay, host of Zen Sandwich podcast. And this week for your guest, Mark, would you like to welcome your guest, or do you want me to pretend I know your guest?
You mean the guest on the most recent episode of Zen Sandwich? Is that what you're talking? You mean my guest here? I'm still thinking about Sin
Wait a
Sandwich. I'm
minute.
thinking about
Wait.
myself. You're talking about my guest here live right now. Yes, my guest is Cathy Brooks, and she is the host of her own podcast. Cathy, why don't you tell people about your podcast? She's also a dog whisperer, by the way.
Wow, so I get to me talking about me. That's terrifying. Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, good day. Cathy Brooks here. Talk Unleashed is the podcast. It's untethered, unleashed conversations, or just me musing on various and sundry things of conversation. I'm a communication coach is my day job. So I help people figure out how they're going to communicate without being a jerk. You know, people want to speak directly, and often they're told they're rude or they're told they're jerks about how to do that. So that's what I do. That's me in a little tiny nutshell. Maybe like a Brazil nut.
Okay, I'm kind of into Brazil nuts. I didn't think
I
I'd
like
be a
them
nut
too.
person.
Right? They're tasty. They're
Yes.
tasty and very
Well-
unusual. They're a unique nut.
Well, speaking of nutty and not being nutty, because this person's gonna actually bring a little bit grounding for us, because something tells me we're gonna have a hard time pulling and reining in our good friend Mark. So would love to introduce Michelle DiMuria, Be Daring Foundation. Welcome, Michelle. Tell us about yourself and Be Daring, please.
Thank you for having me. Yes, I am in the great state of Arizona, huge Arizona Cardinals fan. Created the Be Daring Foundation as a result of being a survivor of rape and suicide living with PTSD. It's time to create the change in the mental health movement, and I'm so excited to be able to share my story. Getting ready to launch the Unspoken Truth podcast this fall, which is super exciting. Really, really excited about that as well.
Okay, and there's not just one thing you're doing. We are actually collaborating with not only each other as Brilliant Bee Media and Be Daring Foundation, but as for those that don't see me, I'm flashing the Walking Tall logo. That is also our premier sponsor, Walking Tall, Be Daring Foundation, Brilliant Bee Media, and another sponsor, Caregiving Worldwide, which I haven't listed up here just yet. We're all in collaboration. Five to Thrive. Can you talk to us about this wonderful event we're doing?
Yes. So I had this great idea last year when we learned of the 5 NCAA athletes dying by suicide, 5 in 2 months. I said enough is enough. And so we created 5 to Thrive. 5 is the 5 that sadly died by suicide. Thrive is let's help these athletes thrive to be the best version of themselves. I thought it was going to be one state. We're actually going to have this event in 6 states across the country, along with Canada and the Aussies over there having their virtual 5 team. So it's going to be a virtual 5K festival in person and a concert series, both in person and virtual. So it's not going to be just a one-stop shop. It's going to be everything you can imagine rolled in one event. And I'm super excited to be partnering with all these incredible individuals.
And it's really great because we're actually connecting a lot of Hounds of Business community members into this mix of Soaring Profits. That they have their own live stream and YouTube channel. And there's Mike Ashebrina asking if anyone can see his comments. I'm going to pretend that we don't see it just to freak him out a little bit further.
By the way, when I run a 5K, I like to do it virtually rather than literally. So,
Oh,
now what is a virtual 5K? I'm curious about that.
So basically, it means you can run on a treadmill. You can go to the park and hang out with your friends and run. You
Ah,
can run wherever you want in the country and in
so
the world. That's the
you s-
beautiful thing.
you still got to physically do the 5K.
Well, you could stand on a treadmill and walk the steps if you'd like. You don't have to physically run, or you could go for a picnic and walk down the park. That's okay. It's
There's
just
nobody
about
measuring though, right? If I just like walk around the block and then I say, "Oh yeah, I ran
well,
5K."
there are going to be prizes for the one with the fastest time, and there's some really good prizes. They're going to be
There's
on
prizes.
board.
There's
So
prizes.
there's a silent auction.
Oh,
There's a
oh,
raffle. There's a
I'm in.
drawing. Yes, yes.
Now
There's
I'm in.
bragging rights. We're getting some medals and trophies made for teams that raise a lot of money and that have the fastest time. This is not just a one-stop fun event. This is some competition. So
Nice.
hopefully Chris will have his running shoes on and be able to beat Mark. We'll have a little contest, Syya, between the two of them. What do you say?
oh, I'm in for that. Look, girl,
Mm.
I took a licking this weekend. Okay. So, okay, Mark, do you want to talk about how much you kicked my wazoo? Shall we
Oh,
just go ahead?
I,
Should
I,
I just get that over with now?
I
Like I
prepared a
got
sign.
my,
I prepared a sign. Since we're on ESPN radio, nobody can see it, but there's an
Mm.
ESPN show where like one of the reporters are sitting around and one guy always has a sign in the background. So I made one for us. So I had to read it for the radio audience. Hang on a second.
oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Look at this.
Okay. So what does
Oh,
that say?
I
What does
can't
that
read
say?
English. I can't read Alabama, Japanese, English. Sorry.
No, that's English. That's your name. Syya owes me 2 cigars.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
What's the
Was that
middle?
your voice that just
That
did
was me.
that?
That was me.
Because I do have it.
Yeah, I thought you'd hit the button.
Yeah.
What's the middle word? It's business what and buddies? Business what and buddies? Bets,
Beat downs?
baby.
Beat
Bets,
downs?
baby. I'll
Bribes?
send you my
Bribes,
address in
work?
Japan. You send me 2 cigars.
I will own up. And the funny thing is I said, "Hey, I'm going to go to Cigar International." And you're like, "No, they don't ship to Japan." Are you sure?
They do. Oh no, Cigars International does not. I've tried to order through them, but
Oh.
you as a private citizen can send me up to 20 cigars. I'm just, we only bet 2. If you want to send me 20, that's fine.
Yeah, whatevs.
Well, look, it's your fault. Since we're talking fantasy football for a moment, you started somebody who didn't even play.
I didn't even have a chance to look. Like I didn't have a chance to look. Okay. Look, peoples. We had an amazing weekend. So the Hounds of Business crew, it started out supposed to be a girls' weekend, and all of a sudden everyone wanted to like join in. So we had the Soaring Profits guys flying from Canada. We had Randy House, shout out Randy, out of North Carolina, flying on in. We had Tabitha, we have Benita from Canada. She was the reason why we're out here. Robert Berry joined, Shree, shout out, and I felt Kelly McCullough showed up, and of course Dr. Brian Segre, who bounced out of our league. He's like, I don't have time for you guys. So no love on that end there. But Lauren was there. Am I miss? Oh, Janice, and Janice was Tausi, by the way. So we pimped out Tausi and the pillowcases like crazy. And then Tracy of Caregiving Worldwide. That's one of our big sponsors, by the way. So Tracy Lamb at Caregiving Worldwide, she is one of the biggest reasons why we're all together, is because we want to extol the virtues of giving beyond ourselves, right? And who is it that oftentimes is giving more than themselves, than to themselves, is caregivers. And so Caregiving Worldwide is going to be a new media conglomerate where you can see all things content related for caregiving industry, as well as the recipients of it, right? And this is not just elder care. This is lifelong journey care, mental health, wellness, everything. It's going to be amazing. And
So the reason you lost the fantasy football game is because you're over sponsored? Is that you I'm missing out the explanation here, as to why you started somebody that didn't play.
look, people, when we're entertaining what should have been 5 people to 16, let's just say I might have tapped into the Glenlivet sippy sips more than I
okay.
should have, and then
That'll
after that, I
do
said,
it.
"I give up. I don't care."
That'll
We were
do it.
we were busy dancing the night away and having fun, so,
Well, fair enough.
you could hear all that fun, on ESPN Richmond 106.1, Mike King, Biz Radio, shout out. I
Well,
know.
so we're not all football here because I know Cathy, you are not necessarily a football fan, but you are a sports nut, if I might, a sports Brazilian nut, if I might add. What's your team?
So for me, there are sports, and then there's ice hockey.
There you go.
And it started when I was super little. I think I was about 2 years old when my dad started carrying me like a sack of potatoes to Flyers games back in Philly. And I've followed hockey my whole life. I didn't really like the Flyers style of play. It was a little bit too thuggy for
Yeah, I was
me,
gonna say aggressive.
a
Yeah.
little thuggy. And I just don't like dirty hockey play. Like hockey is dangerous enough. I see we got people talking about the Blackhawks. They're a great team. And then Vegas got the Golden Knights back in 2017, and I fell in love. And I am actually an official GIF of the NHL. It's a shot of me taken from playoff season in 2019. It has been downloaded, coming up on 41 million times.
Wow.
So yeah, it's me with a gold hoodie and my hockey sweater and gold and black pom-poms jumping around like a lunatic.
Nice.
And if you type in Golden Knights fan, it's one of the first ones that comes up. I love hockey. I love the elegant brutality of it.
Elegant
It's really
brutality.
the best way to describe it. And watching the Golden Knights, I was there the night they raised the cup this year. I was there at the game 5 when they won.
Nice.
And there's really, and it's like, it doesn't really matter what sport, whether it's football or hockey or baseball, like those playoff games are just,
Yeah. I will say too that like going to a hockey game, the experience is elevated tenfold over watching. I can still watch a game on TV and it's fine. It's entertaining, but actually physically being at a hockey game, it's different than like football. Because like football, I'd actually prefer to watch it on TV because of the camera angles and all that stuff. It's a bigger field anyway. But like hockey, I want to go. I want to be there in the arena, and it's awesome. It's terrific.
yeah, especially when I went to a Philly game. I went to see the Golden Knights were in Philadelphia back in March, and I got myself up to Philly, and I caught a puck. Puck came sailing over the ice, and it was about to go past me. So I used my left knee to block the trajectory of the puck and then barehanded it with my other hand.
I was going to say, did you catch it with your hands or did you catch it?
Yeah,
in the
I
teeth?
stopped it with my knee, and then I caught it. I caught the the bounce off of my knee. Yes, it hurt, but it was cool because the LED lights in the puck were still glowing. That they've got these little built-in LED lights in the puck so that the cameras can track it on TV. So that was super cool. So I got a picture of it with the glowy lights, and yeah, I just love hockey. If you've never been to a Golden Knights game in Vegas, it is next level of an in-arena hockey experience. I mean, it's the entertainment capital of the world, right? So the pregame, the in-game entertainment, the whole experience in and around the arena is really not like any other arena in the NHL I've ever been in.
Yeah.
But hockey fans are, it's like I'll go to any game with any team, and I love hockey. I love hockey. Yeah.
I get it.
There was a day last year where there were 32 games. 32 teams. There were 16 games all in one day. Like 32 teams.
All of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Like everybody was playing. It
That's
was,
awesome.
I literally watched hockey from like 6 a.m. until 10 p.m. It was amazing.
Oh my gosh, it sounds like a lot of fun. My level of sophistication and understanding of hockey was the launch of the Anaheim Ducks, season
Okay.
1. I was working at Disney at that time, and it was a big deal for us. And so when they did their kickoff, it was Disneyfied. I don't know how to call it, but they did some like woo, like Lion King was suddenly coming out. I mean, it was really funny. It was a good thing. But the only thing I cared about with hockey is what they call the yard sale. So I'm the one that was like, what?
Oh yeah. It's the best.
One of my biggest claims to sports fame is I did get to see Gretzky play. And and let me tell you just briefly how and why. I was here in Japan in 1998 for the Winter Olympics, and I got to see the bronze medal hockey game, and Canada was in it. So not only did I get to see Gretzky, I got to see all the other greats. I can't remember their names, but I got to see Gretzky in a Canadian, national jersey out on the ice.
Wow.
Yeah, it was awesome. Well, Michelle, I know that you're a huge football and Arizona Cardinal. Have you been to an Arizona Cardinal game before?
So in 2021, I won season tickets to the Arizona Cardinals on Twitter. I retweeted, and so I won 15 rows above the 50-yard line.
Oh,
And I
wow.
got a parking pass. This season, I texted Syya a couple weekends ago and said, I just won sweet tickets to the Arizona Cardinals. And the view was epic. You could see the entire field, free food. They had 4 TVs in there, so I got every angle. As you were saying, at every angle was on those TVs, and it was just
Yeah.
epic. I know a few Cardinals players, former Cardinal players that I've become really good friends with, and so yeah, football saved me with my PTSD, which is why fantasy football is like my go-to for my PTSD, which is why I've won 10 years in a row, and I'm the only woman in
Wow.
my fantasy football league. Yes, yes. So Syya, if you ever need tips, I'm your girl. I'm happy to help you pick
I,
those people.
Maybe
I'm
I should
glad.
just give you my login.
No, that's not
That's
how it works,
cheating.
Sia.
That's cheating.
But
Is it really?
I am glad that you brought up this point because when we started this league, 4 out of the 10 are of the female persuasion, and they were worried
Wait,
about
did you just say of the female persuasion?
I don't know what's politically
I'm
correct
just I
anymore.
just
So
I just like
I'm dancing around genders and sexes all day long. I don't know what's right
like, I don't
anymore.
even know
It,
what that means.
anyway, there were people in the league who were concerned, like, I don't know anything about football. Look, nobody does. I mean, unless you're like just a junkie, even the guys that watch football, they don't know all those players. So the trick to winning fantasy football is pay attention and just see us sit your players when they're out, when they have a little O by their name, and that means they're out. Put them on the bench and replace them with a bench player. Just pay attention. Drop your players that aren't doing well. Pick up players who are doing well, who are on the free agency wire. Just pay attention. That's all.
Okay, that is true, but I have to come back that there are players that might be not doing well the first or second week. I won't drop them. I wait a little bit
That's true.
because I have Zach Ertz, and people are like, "You're dumb for having Zach Ertz because he was on, the pup list." I'm like, "He's coming back he's coming back week 1. He came out. I have him. I have Rondell Moore, and I have James Conner from the Arizona Cardinals. I always have 3 Cardinals on my team every year, and those 3 help. So it's all based on week to week. And if they say injury reserve, don't wait. Wait till about Wednesday before you decide whether or not you're going to drop or add someone, because it's based on practice, based on
Yeah.
the needs. It's definitely all, and the new
Yeah.
rules. Gotta love the new rules. How do you guys like the new rule for the helmet to helmet? Now it's like side helmet to helmet, 15-yard penalty, front helmet to helmet. It's all different now that they've revised it this season. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
I'll tell you why I like the rules, because as much as I love football and the elegant brutality of it,
No, that's just
or
brutality.
or just brutality, whatever,
Brutality.
whatever your perspective on that is. I do love that it's a rough sport. However, for me, like, safety is, it takes precedent. It is more important than a fun, brutal game. I don't want players like 10 years later having concussion issues and having PTSD or suicidal thoughts because of concussions. So I think the safety rules, I'm always a fan of extra safety.
I
You know,
agree. I also said they should have safety rules for the poor umpires and the linesmen, because they got
right.
trampled on all the time by these players. Don't even say sorry. They should fine them for not saying sorry. I mean, they have enough money. Every time they trample over a ref or a line judge, or one of those guys that are holding the sticks, they need to get like $5,000 penalty.
Well, you
People
ever
don't
see
realize.
a linesman in hockey get nailed by a puck or get nailed by a player? I mean, those guys, and they've got to like make these, parkour jumps up onto the boards to go over players, but
They're tough. They're badass.
they're
They're
super tough. But the
yeah.
point of safety is really important. I mean, when you think about hockey, that if someone's head's down, you don't send them into the boards head first. And didn't just in this past playoff season in round 2 in the Dallas series with Vegas. I mean, Dallas, the Dallas captain took after the captain of the Golden Knights, checked him. And for the first cross check was okay. But then Mark Stone from the Knights went down to the ice, and Jamie Benn came down on his neck, cross-checking him with his stick while he was already on the ground.
Yeah.
He got a 5-minute major penalty. He spent more time. He spent a full period in the game of major penalties in the dressing room because of how dirty he was playing. And I mean, you can get, even football, especially with these players, you can get hurt badly enough in a clean play, right?
Now,
that playing dirty is just not okay.
On the flip side of this, I don't know if you ever watched soccer, but those guys fake an injury, like, somebody brushes against them and then somebody just flops on the field like they're having a seizure, and I'm like, dude, that guy barely touched.
Did you not
You're
know that it's a sport of drama? I used to play soccer. I was a take out the trash girl. People love
Oh, yeah.
soccer. But the only thing I don't like now is the AI review stuff, because that's how I believe part of the reason why the U.S. Women's team lost, because of some of the AI that they had shown where it looked like it was a goal and it wasn't. So AI I like, but not for some sports.
I don't know. I'm a fan because I like accuracy. I can't stand a call that was blown that changes the outcome of a game. So I'm in favor of replays and stuff. Anyway.
I don't understand why that. I like the replays, because sometimes when you see it after the fact, it's people cannot get over that blown call, and refs do make mistakes, right? Unless it's a referee industry, they're like, I don't want to be questioned and second guessed. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Look, man, here's my deal. Here's the deal. For everyone that's listening right now, all right, take your licks, because I am. And apparently now I have to go buy some cigars and ship them to fracking Japan from Texas, which I don't even know how the hell. Yeah,
I'll walk you through the process. Don't worry.
I know you're going to be helpful. You're such a giver like that, my friend. I appreciate it. Okay, so we're running up on time here, and I just want to be very, very respectful. And I realized we didn't even play the intro too, which is even funnier. But yes, can we talk about thank God for Virginia? What does that say?
Wingina.
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Cathy's supposed to be in Richmond, right? But you're not exactly in Richmond.
I'm an hour and a half west of Richmond in Wingina, Virginia. Wingina, Virginia. It's right in the middle of the state, right where Wingina should be. And, it's a small unincorporated town in the middle of Virginia in Buckingham County.
Do you know the origin of the name? Like why they called it that?
I do. Mark, have you met me? Of course, it was one of the first things I had to find out. He was a Native American chief. The tribe was one of the first encountered by the English settlers in the 1600s. He was in the North Carolina area, what's now North Carolina. So I'm not entirely sure how an area in the middle of Virginia got named after him, but there you have it. It's pronounced just like you think it is.
And look, unless you've got GPS or some real great guide, most men won't find it anyway. So whatever, we're over it. Okay, so and we leave Mark in a cannot respond. Okay, so
Wingina's easy to find. There's a little spot inside Wingina. I haven't been to the town, but I hear there's a little spot.
Why I get lost on it. Some people get lost on the way to my house.
What up with that? Okay, so on that note, guys, we have to wrap up here, and it was such a pleasure. It was a lot of fun. You guys are rocking the sports. I'm so thrilled and impressed with you. But I do want to give shout outs to your organizations, because it's really all about you and what you guys do. So Cathy, again, can you talk to us about Talk Unleashed? How can we find you? We have a QR code. I told everyone scan it, but website, URL, what's the easiest way and fast way to get a hold of you? And
easiest way to find me, Unleashed Leadership LLC at I'm stuttering all of a sudden. I got so excited. UnleashedLeadershipLLC.com is the website. You can also go to unleashedtalk.com. That takes you to the podcast and anywhere else. And Cathy Brooks, Cathy with a C, Brooks with a B. I'm ubiquitous on the internet. I'm pretty easy to find.
Awesome. Thank you so very much. And Michelle with Be Daring Foundation.
www.bedaringfoundation.org, or find me on LinkedIn, Michelle DiMuria. That's a capital M in my last name. And those are the best places to find me. Super excited, Syya, for our upcoming event. Chris, we're getting you to run, even if it means we have to raise $50,000, we're getting you to run.
Oh my gosh. That I would love to see that 100%. And Zen Sandwich, my good friend, Mark Reid. And I'm going to put our episode up just to kill two birds with one stone.
There you go. That is the most recent episode, actually, and we talk podcasting a little bit, and among other things, because we kind of went all over the place, but in a fun way. I've gotten good feedback from that episode. Yeah, you can find me at zensandwich.com, and sandwich is spelled the fun way, SAMMICH. And it's not Zen Sandwich, it's not Zen Hoagie, it's Zen Sandwich. Or you can just, I don't have any competitors with the name, so you can just go to Google or Apple or Spotify and just type in Zen Sandwich, and I'm there.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Love it. Okay, everyone, I just want to say thank you so very much for coming. And one day we'll get this organization down right, but we do want to give some shout outs to our sponsors one more time here with our wonderful show of Business Bets and Buddies. Oh my gosh, I can't even speak English. Is that what this is called?
I think it's catching. I started that. Sorry about that.
English is like, I don't know, an optional language for me. So don't worry about that, everyone. But Business Bets and Buddies, I do want to give a shout out and thank you to our sponsors, Hounds of Business Community. So Mike Asherbrainer on LinkedIn, guys, this is a great community for all business owners, entrepreneurs. We do mean business and we do actually conduct business together. And so if you want to learn more about that, go hit up Hounds of Business Community on LinkedIn or look at Mike Asherbrainer for Brilliant Bee Media. Oh, wait, that's me. Yeah, that's me. Brilliant Bee Media. If you have any questions around digital content, marketing, social media, engagement, and growth, we're happy to help you on that. Caregiving Worldwide. Oh my God. Guys, is this Friday already? Because I cannot speak English. All right. Caregiving Worldwide Network. This is going to be a major media conglomerate around caregiving industry. So stay tuned for that. And Tracy Lamb is the CEO, and she's amazing. You can find her on LinkedIn. That's heading the cause for everybody. And Walking Tall. Big shout out to Walking Tall movement for just Chris. Oh my gosh, Chris Malazewski. Man alive.
Breathe.
Chris Malazewski, thank you very much. And of course, big, huge shout out and thank you, ESPN Richmond 106.1, Mike King, Biz Radio on the mic with Mike, our VA. So please, everyone, give support. On that note, everyone, let's go ahead and wrap it up. And thank you for another episode of Business Bets and Buddies.
Woo.
This show would not be possible without the support of Mike King and ESPN Radio. A special thanks to our sponsors, Caregiving Worldwide at caregivingworldwide.com, Brilliant Bee Media at brilliantbeemedia.com, and the Walking Tall Movement at walkingtallmovement.com. Walk tall.